strategic signals. At first glance, the Russian narrative concerning the transfer of S-300s to the SA looks believable, at least on the surface. On October 2, following the announced intention to make the transfer, the Russian Minister of Defense, Army General Sergei Shoigu, duly reported to President Vladimir Putin on the successful completion of the deployment. Reportedly, the transfer involved 3 regimental sets of the S-300 PM system to the SA, transferred via an 124 transport aircraft on October 1. These equipment transfers involved 8 launchers in each set. The original agreement between Moscow and Damascus to supply S-300s to the SA was signed in 2010 but later suspended. Following the downing of the Russian reconnaissance aircraft by a Syrian missile, but blamed on the Israeli Air Force operating in the area, Moscow reactivated the agreement and concluded the free-of-charge transfer. Further details emerged on October 9, when TASS reported the equipment was transferred from anti-aircraft missile regiments that had been re-equipped with the modern S-400 system. Shoigu also claimed that, by October 20, an integrated joint air defense system in Syria will finally function alongside Russian air defense, with a further 3 months to train SA officers in the handling of the S-300 PM. Unfortunately, there are serious flaws in the Russian Defense Ministry's claims concerning the equipment transfer and in the details of both the narrative and Russian media reporting. Those flaws raise important questions about the controversial move and its motives. Chief among these is that only 4 launchers have been publicly seen. Moreover, Shoigu had noted the same quantity when outlining the transfer of 49 pieces of equipment. But there are a range of other issues linked to the deployment of the SAM system that suggest it has been hurriedly put together with some wild claims thrown in for high impact. Illustratively, some other sources had speculated that it could involve the more advanced S-300 volts version of the system. Video and photographic images of the unloading of the S-300 SAM system in Damascus reveal a multifunctional radar station that belongs to the S-300 PM2, with its communications and control systems characteristic antenna shape. Nonetheless, none of the other images of the delivered S-300 equipment relate to the S-300 PM2. They seem more consistent with the S-300 PM or the S-300 PS. According to Russian air defense experts, the reason for this discrepancy may likely be that the transfer in question was, in fact, a hybrid regimental system. These issues surrounding the air defense transfer to the SA are only a small element of the actual bluff or set of bluffs inherent in Moscow's decision to send S-300s to Syria. At its root, the purpose of providing the SA with the S-300 is to protect Syrian airspace in the so-called Iranian corridor, in which the Israeli Air Force frequently operates. Yet, Russian air defense experts acknowledge the impossible nature of this mission, which would require covering several hundred kilometers of Syrian territory. Of course, the S-300 PM, on which the first observed regimental set seems to be based, is a robust SAM system. Its main advantage is its high mobility, which the Russian aerospace forces frequently test during their military exercises. Recently, the 25th Anti-Aircraft Missile Brigade was formed to protect the territories of Caucasia, Krasnoyarsk and other regions of Siberia. The brigade rehearses air defense across vast areas covering around 1,000 kilometers. Consequently, for the SA to be able to rely on the S-300 in the Iranian corridor, it would require marches and deployments taking several hours, with positioning of various supporting assets to facilitate coverage. Also, the SA suffers from well-known issues in long-range target detection, but this could be compensated for by the VKS providing radar information from its airbase in Latakia and airborne assets operating in Syria. Still, even after the future completion of the 3 regimental sets of S-300 SAM systems, probably of a hybrid variant, the SA will not be able to prevent all Israeli Air Force strikes. An additional problem facing the use of S-300 PMS or S-300 PM2S relates to air defense integration. These systems are incapable of operating alongside the formidable Panzer S-1 anti-aircraft missile and gun systems, known to be effective in offering protection against cruise missile strikes. An added issue is the training required to develop the officer-level technical knowledge to operate the system. Shoigu's suggestion of achieving this within 3 months is quite optimistic. Until the SA does have the